Please be seated. Court is in session. I think the jury just got back and they're getting settled in. Is there anything that we would need to take care of before they return into the courtroom?
I don't believe so. Well, I don't want to speak for the defense.
We're going to want some time to talk about scheduling. It doesn't have to be right now.
We could do it now while they're getting settled in.
Okay.
They're not here. We don't have to be. So what is it that you needed help with?
We're trying to coordinate an opportunity to take Benjamin Crump's deposition. And the only time that's been offered to us was to begin at 6 p.m. Sunday, several days from now. And we object to that schedule. We're available all day tomorrow.
What is the scheduling issue with Mr. Blackwell?
We asked that Mr. Crump be available tomorrow because we knew that was a holiday, and we were told that neither he nor Mr. Blackwell, as I understand it, were available, and that they suggested that we begin at 6 p.m. on Sunday. That's not realistic or practical for us. While the deposition is relatively limited in scope, that doesn't necessarily mean it will be short because of potential objections, and there are indeed some new areas that may have come up as a result of Ms. Gentile's testimony.
What is it that you're asking for?
Well, the first thing I'm asking for is this. I would ask that the court recess on Friday so that we have that opportunity to take Mr. Crump's deposition. We also want to take the deposition of Steve Brenton with FDLE. We were provided with his report on June 4th, the one that's been the subject of many things, including the sanctions motion. We've had no opportunity since we started the Fry and other hearings and then jury selection, no opportunity to take his deposition and any follow-up there. So we need to do that. We need to take Mr. Crump's deposition. There are some other witnesses. If we had the opportunity, we would like to take their deposition.
Let me interrupt you for just a moment. What is the availability of Mr. Benton?
I believe he can be available almost any time, but I haven't checked with him recently. This is the first I've heard of this in terms of the need to do it right away. I know that in the past they had talked about wanting to take his deposition, but...
Because I know the state has said that they are planning on resting today, and this court intends to begin the defense on Friday, and that's what I had informed you yesterday. I have a jury that is sequestered. They're away from their home, from their families, and to have to take off for 4th of July, which everybody has requested and the court is obliging because it is a national holiday, to then also take off Friday and have them there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday sequestered somewhere where they not occupied is just not reasonable. Mr. Crump has been available since we began this trial on June 10th. Until that was the jury selection process, until he was sequestered as a potential witness from the courtroom, but he was here for every day. I don't know what Mr. Blackwell's schedule is, but it has now been almost a month since we started jury selection or even our Fry hearing. I believe he was here on June 6th in the courtroom during those Fry hearings. The court recessed early on different days, so I don't know what Mr. Blackwell's schedule was. But to have this court continue keeping a jury sequestered without having court time because you didn't coordinate that deposition within a month's period of time, I find that very hard to do.
From a scheduling standpoint, we didn't know until late in the day on June 3rd that we would be allowed to take his deposition.
Well, that's a month ago. That's 30 days ago.
Your Honor, we've been somewhat tied up for the last month, beginning with June 6th, 7th, and 8th in the Fry hearing and the sanctions hearing that we haven't even finished yet. On June 9th, we met with our jury consultant and Mr. Zimmerman to prepare for jury selection, which started June 10th.
And it's my understanding that you had taken there were some depositions that were 5:30 last night. It's my understanding there's more depositions scheduled for 5:30 tonight. There's not been a request from this court to conclude court a little earlier on any day for the purposes of taking any other depositions. So I want to start, if the state rests today, the defense has Thursday, which is a holiday that you could utilize for whatever purposes you need to get ready, but it was always this court's intention that as soon as the state rests, that the defense begins their case. That's how it happens in every case I've ever had, and was my intention to continue to do that. And Friday would be the first business day after the holiday. So
what we're asking for is a little more time, given the way this case has proceeded. As the court's aware, we were still litigating the admissibility of evidence after the jury selection began. We certainly couldn't have taken Mr. Crump's deposition during the trial day. The court doesn't expect either Mr. O'Mara or myself to leave the courtroom, I wouldn't think, to take his...
You've left for other reasons, but I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there. And I don't want to get into a discussion back and forth about what times may have been available, but it's never been requested for this court to recess even a half hour earlier. I know during the Fry hearings we recessed on a Saturday because your witness wasn't available, and the court had to continually ask when your witness would be available to finish it. I had to be the one who moved that forward. Neither side moved that forward because I wanted to get that matter finished because you wanted to know an answer about it before opening statements, and I accomplished that. And if there had been a request to recess even an hour earlier, I would have done that. But now I have a jury sequestered that are going to be off on Thursday, and you don't want court on Friday, that's Saturday, Sunday. I'm not doing that.
We asked the court
end of
to continue
discussion.
the case so that we could take Mr. Crump's deposition, so we could finish the Fry hearing just for a few days before we started jury selection. We have been, I think, asking at every opportunity for some additional time to finish these critically important aspects of the case. Likewise, I'm simply asking for some time now. I don't know if Mr. Crump's in the building today. The court could entertain ordering him to appear tomorrow.
We are taking up now time that I want to conclude this case. The state has indicated that that they would be finished with their case today. I would like to bring the jury in. You can continue to discuss this with me after the state has rested. Are we ready to bring the jury in?
Yes, Your Honor, and just for point of clarification, I know we've had some delays throughout, and I just want to, I'm still pushing for the end of the day.
I am too. That's why I would like to get started.
We may go into Friday morning, but it would be Friday morning at the latest.
Let's go. I'm prepared to go as long today as we need to get the state to rest their case so we can move on with the case.
No, just so the court is
No,
aware.
please have a seat. We will discuss this after we've finished for the day. I would like to bring the jury in.
Yes,
You'll
Your Honor.
have an opportunity.